Good afternoon or morning or evening or whatever time it is of the day that you are catching this video, because I will understand that not everybody's going to be watching them as soon as I upload these videos, and it could very well be years and years down the track from when I record this, but either way, regardless, I hope your day is bloody spectacular. It is Sunday, it is in the afternoon where I am recording this right now. So I hope everybody has had a bloody spectacular week and has a bloody ripper week that comes. But we're back today with another Sunday sermon, and I'm excited to bring this one to you guys, as I always am. But gonna bring a little bit of my book, as usual, is what I'm been doing. But then I've found some old writing from an old notepad which kind of fits in, so we'll see if we can interlace them and make it work. But I wanted to also showcase my dope ass mushroom guru shirt. This will hopefully be me. Actually, I can pick this camera up, I don't know why. Jesus. Anyway, so there we go. Hopefully that's me one day in the future, when I become a mushroom shaman, mushroom guru. Legal ones obviously is all I'm talking about. Made a mushroom risotto last night, which coincidentally aligned with World or National Mushroom Day or something, apparently. Also, one of my friends said on when they replied to my story, but who knows. Anyway, made a bloody delicious mushroom risotto and it was awesome. But let's get into it. I'm going to try to read the book and then read the notes. And if there are any thoughts that come over the top of what I'm reading here, then I'll try and articulate those as I go along. I stopped paying attention for a moment there because I actually stopped it. Didn't think that I'd hit record on the video, but it is recording. Gosh, crazy. It's the chaos. One day we all might get accustomed to the chaos that is my brain, but it's going to take us all a while, particularly me. But anyway, let's get into it. Again, coming partway through the book, and hopefully it'll make sense by the end of it. I know some of this didn't come out as smoothly as I would have hoped, so I'll try and adjust that as I read, so I do that in real time. So be kind to me. Once again, this is the first draft and I'm reading it kind of as it comes directly off the writing and out of my brain, and so it's very raw and unprocessed, but we'll work through that together, and that's why we get to do these things, right? Camera seems to be a little bit off kilter there. If that makes it better. Makes it better on my, well, no it doesn't. There we go, we'll get there. Cool, all right, so let's get into it. Now that you have discovered that the power of creation is within you, the real work begins. The road to enlightenment is a dark, treacherous, and windy road. Discovering that you have infinite power within you will uncover other hidden challenges within your life. And as Uncle Ben says it, with great power comes great responsibility. So you need to be prepared to take on that responsibility if you want to take control of your life in the ways that is truly possible for you. But anyway, now that you know that you are the I am of the universe, it is time to change your internal dialogue of your perception of your own I am. These two words are the most powerful words in our language, as they are what will change your life and every person that you interact with, and the life of every person that you interact with. I should have put that in there. So whatever words follow after the I am will start to reprogram your mind, and therefore will start to reprogram your life. Now, if you're listening to these consecutive through the videos of when I upload them, I've been doing a little bit of talking on the I am on the shorter videos that I do, and we'll expand on that a lot more one day, and then it'll be expanded in the book as well, but we'll get back to that later. So bear with us for now. So whatever words follow after the I am will start to reprogram your mind, and therefore will start to reprogram your life. By altering your I am, and by constant repetition, you will literally rewire your brain. Your current perception of self has made the neural pathways in your brain to be connected in their current state. Through focused intention and repeated actions, those pathways of your old identity will be broken and new pathways will be created. New pathways that will be formed out of love for self rather than fear of self. You are intentionally remodeling your brain and how it operates. This is yet again science. This is the fact of the world that we live in. That is how powerful your thoughts and intentions are. Thoughts are powerful enough to change the physical biology of your body. That change will then reverberate through the rest of your body, the rest of your life, and therefore the rest of the universe. With that kind of power in mind, what are you going to do with it? How are you going to use that power to change your life? How are you going to use that power to change the lives of everyone that you care about? So how do we start renovating the interior of your head? How do we start to break down the pathways of old? The ones where you have been told that you aren't good enough, not pretty enough, or not smart enough. How do we get you to understand that you have access to the infinite intelligence that resides within the universal mind of this reality? If thought is energy, and energy, by the laws of physics, cannot be created nor destroyed, and with all time existing all the time, then you have the ability to access all thoughts that have ever been imagined and all thoughts that will ever be imagined. That is the universal mind and infinite intelligence. Speaking of imagination, where do you think your imagination comes from? Or is arise a better word? Or maybe born from? Your imagination just kinda forms from nowhere, and then just appears in our brain somewhere. This imagination can appear as images or even words that pop up into our head. Think about this for a moment, and when you do think about it, I really want you to listen to my words as they appear inside your mind. Fun tangent, as I wrote that last paragraph, I had a moment of beautiful realization of how not only am I allowing you to be inside my mind by writing these words to you, but I am also getting inside of yours. That is a symbiotic relationship, a beautiful example of causality. Remember, you and I are far more connected than any of us truly understand. Back from my tangent. So this is how my brain works, right? When I'm doing these kinds of things, if a thought pops into my head, I just write it down, and it's been a very interesting process writing this book, because trying to articulate my thoughts in a way that can enable us to enable a fluid storyline with some tangents happening, which is what's great, but then being able to bring them back is beautiful. But by writing, and as I'm formulating my thoughts as they arise, you have these lovely serendipitous moments, and yeah, it's beautiful. It's beautiful being able to understand this and articulate this in the way that I am. Anyhow, so back from my tangent. Listen to my words as they pop into your head. Where do they come from, and where do they go? As you hear these words, are you able to pinpoint the point inside your head where they arise and fall? Somehow, somewhere in your state of existence, there is a point that your thoughts and imagination just arise. We don't know how, but we also don't know why they arise. That point where your thoughts and imagination arise from is your moment of awareness, is where your moment of awareness lies. That is the singularity of your existence. That is your moment of creation. That is where you need to draw your own awareness to. That infinitely dense point of consciousness is where you will find samadhi, the quantum field, but most excitingly, you will find the answer to all of your hopes and dreams in one way or another. A focus, or non-focus is a better way of putting it, on that point where your thoughts arise is the point of meditation. The complete centering of your awareness within your entire universe. Think about that for a moment. Your entire universe, your entire existence, all stems from that point where your thoughts arise and where my words are being heard. That could be known as your primary consciousness. That is your attachment to all, and the all's attachment to you. So, if that point is the first moment, the first point of your existence, and the first thing that arises out of that center of awareness is your imagination, then how powerful do you believe your imagination is? Every single man or woman made object in this world first started out arising out of someone else's center of awareness, their own thought or imagination. As their own thought or imagination. The initial thought has then gone on to shape the world around us, whether that be a pen, a book, or any form of technology, all starting out initially inside the head of somebody else. Are you starting to understand how important your own imagination is and how it can affect the universe? How a simple thought will impact the course of not just your life, but everyone who will ever exist after you. And because of the double slit experiment that we refer back to, not only will it affect the people that are existing after you, it's still technically impacting the people that existed before you as well. That weird causality loop of all time happening all the time. Yeah, so pretty powerful, and if you think about it and over philosophize on it like I do, it is bloody powerful. So think about the thoughts of the philosophers of old. The imagination that is manifesting itself into the form of words have transformed our cultures. Even this book. I've showed a handful of people since initially writing this, and even if no one else reads any more of it, then it has directly impacted the trajectory of the human race, simply by me giving it out to those people and allowing it to go into their mind and processing through their body. And so I'm doing it like this as well. This is another way that I can utilize my own thoughts to impact the human race. And that's such a powerful thing. And it's something that I think is damn cool. And that is actually another one of those serendipitous moments whilst writing this book, is having the realization that this is an energy form that is going to actually shape the rest of humankind, simply because it is being manifested into this reality. So huge. You think about the impact that you have in this world and the things that you do. You might not think that you have a grand play in all of this craziness, but every single little aspect, every single little thing that you do, anything that you do that impacts this world is affecting the trajectory of the humankind. And if you extrapolate that over the infinite amount of time that is left within this reality, then the impact is, might have started small, but the compounding effect that has on the rest of history is bloody large. So let that one sink in whilst you make the decisions that you do. Might be something incredibly simple, which will impact things in a very complex way. which consequently is a beautiful tangent into my next lot of writing that I wanted to touch on you about. So this is a concept I don't know if I've shared this with you guys in the past in like a YouTube sense or anything like that, but if you've heard it before, if you've heard me talk about it before, just listen in again. This is called complexity or simplicity. Back to this debate. Is life a complex simplicity or a simple complexity? This is one of my little phrases that I've been toying with over the last few years. Something that's come into my brain one day, and I just haven't been able to shake it. So I'm going to formulate this into some of the framework that I'm working on. So giving you a little bit of a insight into that before we really fully articulate and build that out, and might make it into the book, who knows, but we'll see what happens. But is life incredibly simple, but for whatever reason we decide to overcomplicate it with our emotions and feelings, or rather our thoughts and anxieties? Or is life complex beyond our own comprehension, but we simplify it and rationalize it to a point that then oversimplifies this incredibly complex equation that we call life? Whichever way you look at it or determine an answer, I think we can all agree that we kind of stuff it up somewhere along the way. If it is simple, why do we overcomplicate it? Why do we add all of this overthinking and anxiety into the mix when life fundamentally could be enjoyed for what it is? If we look at all the emotions and feelings rationally, they are simple. Love is simple. To truly love somebody, all you have to do is love them in all of their being. To be there. We should have the capacity to love all creatures on this planet. No, that makes sense. Okay. Love is simply to truly love somebody. To truly love somebody, all you have to do is love them in all of their being. To be there in that moment. We should have the capacity to love all creatures on this planet. It is only when we start adding extra bits to the love equation that it then starts to overcomplicate the whole situation. Once we start saying that we can't love someone or something because of some particular reason or because of a way that they made you feel, that is adding unnecessary steps and attachments to something that is a part of the fundamental building blocks of not only your existence, but the existence of everything within this reality. Let's look at it another way. Let's look at it another way at a different emotion, because love is generally seen as complex within today's society. Let's look at anger or pain. Is this simple or complex? If someone came up and punched you in the face for no reason whatsoever, you'd probably be pretty mad and hurt, right? That is a simple and understandable outcome to a situation. Any emotion at its base level is actually simple. It just is. It's only once we start interfering with those emotions, once we start thinking of why they are arising, that is when things get complicated. Remove the ego, remove the attachment, and let things be, simply as they are. That is when you can unlock the beauty of life in its simplest and least complicated form. But it is nice to be able to think about life like this, because I've removed the complications of this existence. I am simply overlooking all of the parts of the equation that make up, that is what makes us, us. E equals mc squared is a very simple equation for us to look at and to explain. But the mathematics that is behind it, that was required to be known to formulate this very simple equation, was incredibly complex. Love isn't as simple as I laid out in my previous statement. There is a lot of complexity that comes into that equation, much like E equals mc squared. I mean, life has beaten us down, right? We all have untold trauma and heartache that makes it difficult to love even ourselves, let alone another person or every other creature on this planet. It is these past experiences that get in the way. It is these experiences that can overcomplicate the whole situation. But I do believe that love, at its base level, at the level you feel it in your whole existence, that kind of love is simple, it is easy, and it is beautiful. It is the mind that makes it complicated. Let's look at a couple of other scenarios or situations. Let's have a look at two seemingly opposing forces, God and science. These two different determinations of our existence on this planet and within this reality can be viewed as a complex simplicity or a simple complexity. Let's look at science. Would this be simple or complex? Science has us believe, or at least our best theory to date, is that this universe was created at the Big Bang. This single moment in time, or more rightly put, this single moment in non-time, because time didn't actually exist at the moment of the Big Bang. But I will save that existential crisis for another day. At this moment, the fabric of reality was torn open and expanded at such a rate that is actually imperceivable to our feeble brains. A few billion years, also imperceivable for us. So a few billion years pass, the first stars, planets and galaxies are born. About 4.5 billion years ago, the Earth is formed, and then 3.5 billion years ago, the first stages of life come to be on this planet. Somehow, from an unimaginable explosion, life still found a way to exist. Persistence over resistance. Then the humans evolved. So, through all of that, would we determine that the whole equation as being complex or simple? Now, if you want to look at God, and I'm using God specifically rather than religion because I don't want to get into an argument about specific religions and their individual beliefs. After all, that argument would be with myself, so let's save that for another day as well. God created everything. He had a thought, a feeling, a state of creation, then bam, the universe was created. From that, all life came to be. Thought is probably not the right word to throw into the mix there. Much like you do not need to think to beat your heart, or walk, or see, it just simply happens. This is the same idea that goes with God creating this reality and all of its participants. Now, would you say that the highest form of consciousness, breathing life into a barren world, was complex or simple? Let's look at it this way. Would you consider you making your heart beat simple or complex? If you look at it from a scientific standpoint, your heartbeat is quite complex from all of the neurons firing and communicating, the blood, the electrical shocks that you produce to make it beat. It could be seen as a very complex event. If you look at it from a different angle, your heart simply beats without your conscious input. So once more, is life a complex simplicity or is it a simple complexity? I think what determines that is you. You, depending at which way you want to take your vantage point, will decide whether you want it to be simple or complex. You have the power to decide the outcome of your own life, whether you want to live in a simple state of being or whether you want to live in a complex existence. It is up to you to decide. There is no right or wrong answer. It just simply, or maybe complexly, is. And that is about it for now, at least out of that bunch of writing. Keen to hear your thoughts. A couple of little things that I shared in there. Need to expand on a few of those ideas a little bit more. But once again, doing these videos is going to help with that because I can articulate it and then understand, and then as I bring it up, it'll then manifest and sit in my subconscious brain and then go into the infinite intelligence, and everything will just work in harmony. I'm going to wake up in the middle of the night, have an epiphany, and then not be able to get back to sleep and be exhausted for the next day. But that's my problem to deal with, not yours. But regardless, I am still keen to hear your thoughts. Do you think life is simple? Do you think it's complex? Do you think it's a complex machine, but we oversimplify? Do you think it is a simple machine, then we overcomplicate it? Is it just humans that are getting involved, that are really getting in the way of Mother Nature doing her thing? Or are we supposed to get in the way of Mother Nature doing her thing? Don't know. But either way, I am excited to hear your thoughts. This is my little studio. This is my camera stand that I've got. I just want to take you guys for a little bit of a tour, because I have the ability to do this now because of my new camera. So thank you, Carl, for hooking a brother up. This is where the magic happens, and by magic I mean sleep and rest. My little shoebox. This is the mirror of meaning, so I write out goals and plans and things that I want to do and achieve, and affirmations. And the little affirmation that I've got up the top there at the moment is, I deserve the good things that happen to me. And then I've got under that, I've got my end of year focus and things that I need to do. Sneaking out, got some Ajit on the TV, so a little bit of background noise there. If anybody is listening and has a connection to Ajit, who is just an absolutely amazing music artist, sings such beautiful music that will just reverberate in your soul, and it's amazing, very powerful, and sings it in Sanskrit as well, which is even more amazing because it's such a hard language for us to learn. But she does an amazing bloody job, and big fan. So anybody, I know she's probably not going to be watching this video now or ever, but if you have a connection to her, then pass on the message to say that she has a bloody delightful voice, and I would love to have a conversation with her one day. Get her on a podcast one time, have a bit of a chat about everything that she does. But there's a little bit of a tour of my house, some of my little shoebox apartment. Some of y'all already across all of this, but this is my deck. This is where I walk up and down when I'm recording my videos in the mornings. If you haven't caught up to those short little daily philosophy videos that I do, just give me a bit of a tour. And then this is my meal prep. I actually did that much meal prep that I overfilled my slow cooker and had to use another pot as well. But a bit of a strange combination of food. Doesn't look particularly that great, if I'm going to be completely honest with you. But the importance of it is there are a bucket load of veggies in there. Got some proteins in there, lots of fiber, and just all of the good things without all of the nasty crap that gets added into our regular diet from all the shit foods that we actually buy. So very whole food based, very minimal extra additives. I've got a few little jar mixes of things in there that'll have some shitty preservatives and whatever else, but overall, for what it is incredibly natural, healthy, lots of vitamins, all of the good things that my body needs without all of the extra shit. So no sugar, very minimal preservatives and all of the fake stuff that is poison for our body. And all of the lovely fuel that I need to pump myself up. Another thing that I was going to talk about as well, going to be taking y'all on a little bit of a journey with me. This one is just another challenge that I'm going to set for myself because it's something that I'm a little bit self-conscious of. Fear of judgment, fear of, I don't know, just fear in general. But I think it's an ego thing, actually. What it is, like, been on a fitness journey and it's been awesome. I've dropping the weight like I wouldn't have really, well, I could have imagined it, but you know, I'm almost 40 kilos down from when I was at my heaviest, which was many years ago, back when I was a full-blown alcoholic. Got that shit under control now, but yeah, I was at 117 kilos at my biggest. Now at my last weigh-in I was at 82 kilos. I'll be down probably about to 80 kilos now, but I'm about to start another 8-week challenge with the gym. What that means is I'm going to go super strict on my diet, and I'm going to be got a stretch target of 7% body fat by the end of the challenge. I'd say I'll be sitting at about 15 at the moment. So that's 1%, like let's say 1% a week, which is very doable in a reasonably healthy way as well. Hence why I do the meal prep. It's just an amazing way to ensure that I'm getting the nutrients that I need. But I want to take you guys on that journey with me as well. I've never really documented anything like this, but can't even talk. Excited to see the results that I get from it. This is a massive commitment. Once I get into that, then I'll push myself back up to and to sit between 12 and 15%, because that's much more sustainable, and I'll bulk up a little bit in between now and then as well, which will be cool, because then I'll be a nice size where I'll be at my happy place, and then I'll just continue on with my fitness journey. But I want to make a little bit of a montage, a few clips, a few diet tips and things that I've got. Like it's, again, it's the same as what I was talking about before. It can be incredibly, like, you know, your diet can be incredibly simple, or it can be incredibly bloody complex. The equation in itself to lose weight is very simple. Just simply burn more calories than you put in, and your body will naturally start eating away at your fat stores. But it's when we overcomplicate it, that's when it does just get shit, basically, for a lot of people. And you can make it very complicated, like, and for those who are looking for elite results, it kind of does need to get a bit more complicated. But you know, don't eat shit food. We all know what shit food is. Don't put the processed crap in your body, because it's not natural. We shouldn't be doing it. But you know, we just have a habit of poisoning our bodies like we poison Mother Earth. But yeah, I am excited to take you guys along for that journey, and get the road to single-digit body fat. That's the goal, and then we'll see what happens from there. But anyway, that's pretty much all I have to say. I think that's long enough for y'all. Keen to hear your thoughts as always. Please reach out, and yeah, just let me know if there's any of this triggers anything for you. You know, please holler. Slide in those DMs, smoke signals, carry pigeons, all of the things that I normally say. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe and share, all of that as well. And those bell notifications, if you are subscribed, you can turn on the bell notifications. So if you really want to be a bit of a masochist and want to hear more of me, it'll alert you once as soon as I upload a new video or anything like that. So do all those things. Spread some love, be kind to each other, and most importantly, be kind to yourself. And until the next video, thank you for tuning in. And as always, much love and namaste.